That's right. Good evening, everybody. All this comes as resorts still wonder when they will reopen. Gladys Blanco has been a guest room attendant at Bellagio for 8 years.
We need to know that we're safe when we return.
She's one of the 60,000 culinary members who are jobless. She wants to go back to work, but
I am scared to touching dirty bed, towels, or trash and getting the virus and infect my children.
And that's why the Culinary, along with its parent union, Unite Here, released a 6-page health plan. Why? The union says it's unimpressed with reopening guidelines put forward by some gaming companies and regulators. Dee Taylor is the president of Unite Here.
They're certainly deficient, and they need to be enhanced as we have put forth.
What the union calls for is protective gear for all workers, thermal screening, enhanced cleaning of all properties, social distancing for workers and guests, and chief among them, making sure employees are virus-free before they return.
We think every single worker, before they go back to work, should be tested for COVID-19, and the employer should pay for that.
For local gaming, the only game in town now is health. If customers aren't confident, they'll stay away. Caesars intends to fully comply with the health and safety directives from state government and public health officials, says that company, one of many working on reopening. The union says it must be up to gaming regulators to make sure companies keep health and safety foremost. And if companies do not,
we're going to let customers know this far and wide.
As of yesterday, COVID-19 has killed 226 people in southern Nevada.
This has been very painful, all crisis. Painful emotionally, economically, and we've been losing members and their families too.
The culinary death toll is now 15, says its secretary-treasurer, a number likely to get bigger as its members wait to get back to work.
A lot of people are nervous about going to a hospital right now, and they're suffering from other problems because of this fear, Reed.
And you know what? This is something that we're seeing all across the United States, Jim. A lot of Americans concerned that if they go to the ER or call 911, they'll contract COVID-19. So News 3's Denise Roche digging deeper into this story on when you should call for 911.
One local ambulance company says their transports are down 35% since February. One reason could be fewer cars on the road and fewer traffic accidents. But the fear is there is something else at play here too, something that could lead to a fatal mistake.
We should try next Tuesday.
Okay.
Get everybody in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gotten to the point where just making plans is a relief.
But you can just call
Do the 9 holes. Just do 9.
like we usually do.
A group of friends ready to return to their regular golf game, meeting in the park for the first time in weeks.
We're tired of looking at the same faces. Our husband, but we love our husbands.
But with their chairs spaced a safe distance apart, talk of COVID-19 is also unnatural. And the question, how comfortable would you be going to the hospital right now?
I would be very afraid to go to a hospital. I won't even go to the dentist.
I would really evaluate how sick I was.
And that's exactly what has Glenn Simpson with Community Ambulance concerned.
We don't want people to forego seeking medical care out of fear of the coronavirus.
He says, outbreak or not, there are certain symptoms that should never be ignored. Chest pains, severe respiratory distress, allergic reactions, all important reasons to pick up the phone and call for help.
Really, the message is if you would have called 911 prior to the pandemic, those are the exact reasons we want you to call 911 right now.
Simpson says along with every hospital in the valley, each ambulance on the road is now undergoing a regular deep cleaning, and his team is helping in other ways too.
We've been working to train some of our employees in administering the nasal swab test.
Something they'll be assisting with later this week on the Allegiant Stadium construction site.
You know, it took all of us to slowly turn everything off. And it's going to take all of us to reopen.
Back at the park,
I think any of us, if we knew we were having a heart attack or if we fell down and broke our hip or something, but if we just had those mild symptoms like, okay, do I have this virus? no.
The ladies agree delaying emergency medical care is a bad idea. And like everyone else in the country,
I miss going to the movies.
they look forward to the day when questions like that aren't even asked. Denise Rosh, News 3.
Welcome back, everybody. As so many of us work from home or stay in this quarantine state of mind, it's good to check in with our interior space. Are you feeling lonely? Are you feeling depressed? Are you wondering when and if things will ever get back to normal? Now imagine having those feelings as a teenager. Only no mom, no dad, and no home. A homeless teenager. Well, the pandemic for that population is especially feeling the damaging effects of COVID-19. That's the subject of tonight's Vegas Lost with John Trainer in studio tonight.
Yeah, for those young men and women with nowhere to go, the Nevada Partnership for Homeless Youth has been a safety net. That net carrying more weight now than ever before. At Nevada Partnership for Homeless Youth, it's business as usual. But what is usual anymore? The largest drop-in center for homeless youth is opening its doors to more kids and teens than ever. But around those doors, plenty is changing.
For our youth, their worlds are already they're used to their worlds closing inward, and now COVID has made it even worse. Schools are closed. A lot of programs that they usually access are closed. They can't easily get from point A to point B. And a lot of big problems with youth is that they don't know how to access resources, and now there's even less resources available.
Arash Ghafouri is the director here. No staff member or resident has been sick. No one rushed to the hospital, but the effects of coronavirus are very much present. Nevada has the highest rate of unsheltered youth in the country, and that lack of housing is on full display more than ever. It's hard to quarantine with no roof.
We're letting them know that they can come by, come grab critical resources, whatever they need, and get connected to medical help, educational help, workforce help, but more importantly, housing and shelter and critical and basic resources right now, because that's all we need.
Before he tells us the immediate impact is with youth already in the NPHY system. Several were about to graduate from the independent living program, but now the jobs they were going to start might not exist. The housing options may have disappeared as well.
Kids that were going to move out in April, May, June, now don't know where to go. Don't know what to do, and are very unsure of the world, and so are all of us. So right now we're just making sure to bunker down, take care of everyone we can, and make sure that we're taking care of people today and still providing that path and that hope for tomorrow by making sure that we're stable today and prepared for when the world kind of opens up again, if you will.
All right, people, pro sports are back. But of course, it was in Korea. The KBO, the Korean Baseball Organization, started its season last night. I thank you personally and also as a sports guy. But as a Las Vegan, it was good to see because one of our own was starting as the starting pitcher. Nick Kingham plays for the SK Wyverns. Yes, the SK Wyverns. A wyvern's a dragon, actually. But yes, Nick was their starting pitcher versus Hanwha. Nick pitched very well, going 7 strong innings, striking out 4, only giving up 6 hits and 3 earned runs, but it wasn't meant to be, as his Wyverns only managed just 2 total hits in a 3-0 loss. But the Korean baseball games, folks, they have 0 fans out there. Some players wearing masks, and they're actually live on ESPN, so still a good showing by Nick Kingham, the kid from Las Vegas. All right, folks, UFC 249 is still on for a Saturday in Jacksonville, Florida, and Sunday I caught up with featherweight contender Calvin Kattar, who's taking on Jeremy Stephens in a fight that has some title implications. Now, Kattar, the New Englander, says he's ready to go, but before I got into his training post-coronavirus, I had to ask him this. Tom Brady leaving, going down to Tampa. How do you feel about that?
What a hell of a way to start an interview. Oh, man, that one hurts. That one hurts, man. You know, it is what it is. He gave us 2 good decades out here, and I'm hoping that the NFL season kind of just doesn't kick off this year, to be honest.
Oh, wow. Cancel the whole season because the Patriots don't have Brady?
Tampa Bay think they got the Super Bowl this year, and they're going to have to wait a year, I hope.
Well, how about this? I mean, the fact that you guys, they got Gronk as well. Are you going to become a Tampa Bay fan? I mean, they're in the NFC.
It's the New England Buccaneers, we call them out here.
Okay, the New England Buccaneers. I like that. Okay. How has training been for you with the whole coronavirus pandemic and probably not being able to bring in a lot of training partners and everything else?
It's been crazy, but the fight game, is pure chaos. So it's really kind of nothing new for me. If anything, it's showing the world what a fight camp's all about.
All right, well, former Spring Valley High standout Essence Booker left Las Vegas after high school for UNR to play some hoops. Now, after 2 very successful seasons, Booker is transferring to Ball State in Indiana. Yes, the Hoosier State. Essence explains why she felt it necessary to leave the state of Nevada for the very first time.
It was just like I'm going through the process kind of for like a first time, like the real process. Like a lot of schools contacted me and stuff like that. But honestly, I think I was going far either way, just because I knew what I wanted for myself. Like I wanted to play in a bigger conference. I wanted to be a part of something and build something. Like that's always been something that I wanted to do. Like going to Spring Valley High School. I could have went to Gorman. I could have went to Centennial. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to be a part of something and build something. And that's what I wanted to do at Reno. But unfortunately, that didn't work out. Joining Ball State, they're obviously doing great. But I feel like I can help them be a part of something bigger, making it to the NCAA tournament, not just postseason. But yeah, it was definitely tough.
And folks, here's a hint. You want to be a winemaker, Kevin, Latoya, make sure your homemade wine has fully fermented before opening, because if it does not, something like this may happen if you... Not a good look at all. Now, folks, this is from the account of Rex Chapman. He's a former NBA player. He's got a great Twitter account, usually posts a lot of inspirational stories and sometimes some very funny ones. And this one really caught me off guard because he's really explained, like, hey, you know what? I made this home wine. It's beautiful. You can have it with caliente. I don't even know. I don't drink wine. But you don't want that to happen.